Hello students! Our next project is going to be an animal eye painting. During this presentation, I'm going to show you different types of color wheels, how to read a color wheel, a painting process called underpainting, which is what we're going to use to complete this project. It's basically where you layer paint on top of each other. And we're also going to look at some different examples. So to dive right in, did you know that there are different types of color wheels? I had no idea. But as you can see here, there are 3 different types. There's the first one, RGB, the second one, RYB, and the third one, CMYK. So take a look at those, and I want you to think, which one do you think we are going to be using with paint? If you chose the first one, the RGB, that is incorrect. That color wheel is used for screens. So when we look at a screen, the colors are mixed using a process called additive color mixing, and it's used on monitors like your television, computer, cell phone, so on. This process mixes colors of light to produce the image we see on a screen or other electronic devices. The 3 primary colors of this process are red, green, and blue. So light mixes differently than paint. So the next color wheel we're going to talk about is the CMYK. If you picked this color wheel, you're wrong again. So this is not the one we are going to be using with paint, but this is the color wheel used for printer ink. So the CMYK stands for cyan, which is a type of blue, magenta, which is a type of red, and yellow, which is yellow. Black is the key. So when we're discussing how printers work, they use this color wheel because those are the colors used in the printing process. So a printing press uses dots of ink to make up the image from all of those 4 colors. The key actually means black, which it's called key because it's the main color used to determine the image outcome. If you chose the color wheel that was in the middle, the red, blue, and yellow one, you are correct. So these are the primary colors that we've probably used since kindergarten. So we are going to be learning more about this color wheel and how we can learn how to read it and use it for our paintings. So to dive deeper into the whole how to read a color wheel, it's really interesting because if you know how to view a color wheel, you can make any color. Well, that's bananas. Yeah, any color if you know how to read a color wheel. So I'm going to explain to you the basics of this color wheel. It's pretty simple when you stop and think about it. So here we go. As you can see here, the primary colors are red, yellow, and blue. Any color that you want to create, you can do so by mixing these colors together. These are the only colors you are going to get for your animal eye painting, along with black or white to make them lighter or darker. But these 3 colors can create any other color. So if we look at this color wheel, we can see that in between the red and yellow is orange. That's a secondary color. In between the yellow and blue is green. That's also a secondary color. In between the red and blue is purple or violet, another secondary color. But if you dive deeper into this, if you mix a secondary with a primary, you get a tertiary. It's a tough word, tertiary. So those would be your yellow-green, blue-green, blue-violet, red-violet, red-orange, yellow-orange. And these are created with just more yellows or more blues in there. So you can create your green and then add more blue to it to make a blue-green. Understanding that all of the colors come from the 3 primary colors will help you in this project. We are looking for kids to be able to mix paint colors to match their photo reference. So if there is a burnt orange color, we want to see if you can create that same burnt orange color. We're also going to be looking at different types of brush techniques to get different textures, but understanding how to create colors is a main focus of this project. This is a handout that will be at your table. This is actually just a cheat sheet for if you're ever confused on how to create a color. So if you're trying to create a orange, look at what primary colors surround the orange. Oh, yellow and red. That tells you what 2 colors you need in order to make orange. Some students will go and get every single color and they don't need all of those colors. So knowing what color you're going for and what colors are used to create that will help you and save paint. This handout also shows you how to create brown. So brown is actually a very difficult color to make, but by breaking it down into mixing complementary colors, it's actually pretty simple. So from last year, if you remember our color scheme unit, there's a color scheme called complementary. It's any two colors that are directly across from each other on the color wheel. So we have blue and orange, red and green, and yellow and purple. What we have found that students find easiest to make brown is by creating your orange and then adding little bits of blue in there at a time. You can also create orange and then add bits of black. So I recommend trying both blue and or black and see what kind of brown you get and if that's what you're going for. But what is kind of interesting about this is that all of those combinations are the three primary colors. What? Yeah, it's totally crazy. But you've got blue, which is a primary color. Then you add yellow and red together, you get orange. So it's the three primary colors. Same thing with red. You've got the second one, which is red, and then green, which is just blue and yellow, and you get brown again. What? Yeah. So then you've got the third one. You've got yellow, your primary, but then if you add blue and red together, you get purple. Again, that makes brown. But the thing is it's not even amounts of the primary colors. So yes, it is all three, but if you just put a scoop of each one in, you are not going to get brown. That's why we find it's easiest if people make orange and then add blue in, because yellow gets taken over really, really fast. It's a light color. Same thing with white. So if you add colors into yellow or into white, it changes it really fast. So start with orange, then add blue and or black.